Imagine having a dream that the heavens are open and angels are coming up and down. This exactly happened to Jacob, and it was happening to him at his worst moment. Stay tuned. This time we're going to be reading where Jacob sees the ladder of angels coming up and down from heaven. Welcome back, everyone, to another Bible passage. Today we're going to be reading the time that Jacob sees the heavens open and angels going up and down the ladder. But to preface this is happening at one of his worst moments. In chapter 27 of Genesis, it talks about how Jacob and his mother had both deceived Isaac, his father, in giving him the blessing and not giving it to Esau. He had deceived his father, and Esau was mad because the blessings were supposed to be for him, for Esau, and instead Jacob received the birthright blessings. Esau vowed that he was going to kill Jacob. The only thing that he was waiting for was for Isaac to pass away. He said, I'm just going to wait. His mom, they're both of their mothers, she was distraught about this and decided to send Jacob away. And this takes us to Genesis 28, verse 10, where Jacob is going away looking for a wife in a faraway land, leaving his family, running away. Nobody's chasing him, but he knows that he's in danger and he needs to leave. And in verse 10 it says, And Jacob went and dwelt from Beersheba and went to Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night. Because the sun was set, he took of the stones of that place and put them as pillows and lay down in a place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up to earth, and at the top it reached to the heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, God of Abraham thy father, and of Isaac, and the land where thou livest, and thou give it, and thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. And thou shalt spread abroad to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. And in thee thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all the places whither thou goest, and will be bring thee again to this land, for I will not leave you until I have not done that which I have spoken of. I'll pause right there. This is God talking directly to Jacob, not to Isaac anymore, but directly to Jacob. And he said to Jacob, I made a promise to your grandfather Abraham, to your father Isaac, and I'm making you this promise now to you as well, that your seed is going to multiply. You're going to be of this land. And I know you're going away right now, but you're going to come back. I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to multiply your seed. I am the one that promised this, and I will make this happen. And I love this part that he says, wherever you go, I will go. I like that God said that to him because Jacob was going into the unknown. He didn't know where he was going. And in verse 16, it says that Jacob wakes up, awakened out of his sleep, and he said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid, and he said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob arose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put forth for the pillow, and he set it up as a pillar, and he poured oil upon a top of it, and he called the name of the place Bethel. But the name of that city was called Luz at first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and where to put it on, so I will come back to my father's house in peace, in peace. Then shall the Lord be my God, and this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house. And of all thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth of thee. This is Jacob making a vow, not holding only to what Isaac, his father, was saying, but now he's making a personal vow, saying that if God blesses me, if God is truly with me, then I will come back here and I will do everything that God says, and I will even give my 10%. That's the tithing that we call it now, the 10% of everything that, and it wasn't a money thing. It was a sacrifice that he was saying, a vow that he was saying that God, you're going to keep me, you give me everything, so I'm going to give it back. And I like that he says that he was afraid at first. He said, what place is this? And he sets up an altar. He sets up a pillar. He puts oil. He blesses this. And he says, this is a gate. This is the gate to heaven. This is the entrance to heaven. Nowadays, we could apply that to anywhere that we are. We could apply it to our church for sure. Our church building is a place that we congregate, and is literally a place, a gate to heaven. And there have been many times that people have seen angels come up and down, because this is literally the opening, a door to heaven when we come here and unite together. However, everywhere that you are, it's in the Bible. God says it to Jacob, everywhere that you go, I will go with you. So I believe that it's not just talking about the church where we come and congregate and pray and unite, but it's also anywhere that you are, anywhere that you build an altar. You see, it wasn't specifically that God told Jacob, here, sleep here, because this is going to be where my gate is. It was because Jacob chose that place that God was there with him. And he says it later to him. Again, he says, wherever you go, I will go with you. And I think this is a word that someone here needs to hear. That even in your lowest moment, remember, this is one of the lowest moments that Jacob is going through. One of them, he went through a lot. But one of his lowest moments is him cheating his brother out of the birthright. Him having to run away essentially because his brother wanted to kill him. And yet, somehow he was repentive. Somehow God saw the heart. And he saw the future that Jacob was going to have. And even then we see the response that Jacob has, which was a great one. And he saw this vision, this dream, and he was prepared to do a sacrifice. He was prepared to do a vow. He was prepared to do an altar and make that covenant with God himself, and no longer just living on the covenant that God made with Isaac and Abraham. And he's become one of the three patriarchs that we talk about all the time: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Later on, we know that his name is changed once more to Israel, and that's another story for another time. He fought with an angel, and God changed his name to Israel because he says, you have fought with God and prevailed. This is, I believe, an instance that of big transformation in Jacob. It took him many years, over 14 years, to go from this dream to being changed in name, and to finally overcome things that he had in his heart. Sometimes the journey is not of location, but the journey is of the heart. Whatever journey it is that you're going through, whether it be a physical transition, an emotional transition, a mental transition, or spiritual transition, we're all in transition. We're all on a journey to become better. But today's word, this is for someone. God is always with you. He will always be wherever you are, wherever you go, he will be there. Make this place right now your altar. Make this place the pillar where you stand and you say, this is a place of God. This is a place where the doors of heaven are open. This has been another Bible passage. I hope that was useful and that was helpful to someone. I know it's definitely helpful for me. We all go through things, and I hope that this was helpful. Stay tuned for another Bible passage. Remember, keep reading the Bible, keep liking and sharing, because if this was helpful to you, I'm sure that it was going to be a blessing to someone else. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.